Hello everyone and welcome. In this recording I'm going to be speaking about this full moon in the sign of Leo taking place on the 12th of February 2025 at 24 degrees and 6 degree of course the sign of Leo Aquarius axis, because the sun at any full moon illuminates the moon from the opposite sign, which is Aquarius. This full moon is really powerful and multifaceted, multi-dimensional. I'm so very sorry. Because of this, I really have to complicate things a little bit. I really wish to invite fellow students of astrology to explore with me here the highly complex and multi-dimensional quantum nature of this energy that is going to be playing out at the time of the full moon. And it is certain, of course, asteroids, trans-Neptunian objects, and even fixed stars that add their symbolism, add their power, add their energy to the full moon phenomenon. And they're quite numerous. So even if we keep it simple, even if we ignore the asteroids and all of that, even in its simple version, the full moon is still very intense and full of surprise and quantum, because the main aspect is a T-square with Uranus, the planet of the quantum, of the future, of the next, uprising, rebellion, the cold, hard, unforgiving sword of truth descending upon. That's definitely electricity, calamities, sudden boom, sudden turnaround, that's Uranus. And Uranus is, at the time of this full moon, is still very intense, very active, very energized, because it is just starting to go forward. It hasn't moved all that much yet, so its energy is very strong, very strong. And of course, Uranus is the ruler of the sign where the sun is, which makes it extra strong. Now, if this wasn't enough, the sun holds a conjunction with Mercury, planet of the mind, communication, Aquarius, technology, the human collective, media, you get what I mean. So news, information, something, mercurial, speech, except dialogue, uh, contact of any kind, technology, news about a big event that affects very many, Mercury, and the nature of Aquarius. Okay, Pluto is also in Aquarius, so anything that happens in Aquarius has a Plutonian nature to it, so an extra intensity to it, an extra truth layer to it, an extra warning sign, either in positive or negative way. Because warning sign in a positive way is, look how well you did by pure chance, right? Keep this up. Make this part of your standard. That's a really positive way of when something surprises you and you integrate it permanently. So, news, communication, shock factor, surprise factor, hits really any channels. Now, the opposite sign, Leo, is the heart. Moon in it. Actually, the moon is in the sun's home sign of Leo. So the sun is the disher out of this energy. So this means that whatever news or whatever we react to, it says something both to the heart and the mind. Higher mind Aquarius, and the heart Leo. Leo is also the sign of risk factor. So something is shocking here, something is surprising here, something is out of the ordinary. If we add Uranus to this, and Uranus and his lower octave, Mercury, are also conversing in a square. So shock, surprise, unexpected, a turnaround. Aquarius is the sign which is the highest frequency air sign, right? So that means aviation, that means technology that flies. That can even mean space, cosmology, but there is a surprise there anyway. It doesn't matter if it's space, if it's just our air, the typical airspace, or other type of technology, because this is, Aquarius is air, Leo is fire, but many of the small power players here, the planetoids, are water deities. So water is also mixed in the picture. The fact that at the time of the full moon, Mars and Uranus hold a trine, Neptune and the North Node are conjunct. Well, this also adds a lot of water to the table in energy and even physically. So this is where something can happen in the ocean, seas, flooding, or some disruption. Surprise can also come from water. Sorry. So it's definitely gonna hit the news, and it's gonna make us think, Mercury, and it's gonna definitely make us feel moon in Leo. And when I say feel, this is the fiery feel. So it really needs a reaction. It really needs a hard truth to be dished out there. How do we react to it? How do we feel about it? How does it make us? I don't know. What state does it give us? Whatever this is, news. And it can even be Aquarius, something general, collective. Let me give you a really good example. A new type of technology, a new, I don't know, gadget or something, whatever, but which makes many things that we love, not out of need, but out of something futile. So this is when a gadget incorporates many others. It's wow, definitely Aquarian, but it can also have another effect where where many is replaced by just one, and that gives a sense of dissatisfaction. It doesn't feel natural, or not everything that is modern or high tech or very practical, very useful is necessarily welcomed. You know what I mean? So it can very well be this type of energy when something hits the public and it's revolutionary, it's Uranian. It's really of the future, and simply it's not welcome. Now we can very well see how Black Moon Lilith in the sign of Libra, and she is very important because on one hand, she is sextiled by the moon. Both of these are lunar energies. So the sextile means, well, Black Moon Lilith is the raw, the primal feeling, the not so nice, the shadowy, the primal female, the lioness, for example, the sign of Leo. The lioness is not gonna negotiate all that much when she has to protect her cubs, her family, her husband, even. Because I think in lions, she is protecting her husband very much, both from any predator, but also from other females. So this type of energy. Oh, I hope I didn't offend anyone with this. But the moon, sorry, the sun and Mercury actually trine. So this to me says whatever harsh feelings we have, well, they are justified. The feeling itself is justified. Okay, Mars trine Saturn. Fortunately, there is a lot of common sense in the air and we know what to react or not to react. But feeling is feeling. We can still feel pretty angry. For example, this anger may be very much one of these emotions because Uranus, the anger, anxiety, angst factor, and then Moon in Leo, the not so nice feeling that it generates is exactly that, like a kind of outrage, a mix of not so nice emotions. Aquarius we react publicly. And in mundane astrology, well, Aquarius is politics. Sun, the spotlight is on politics. So someone from the world of politics, and many times Sun is a leader or a leader figure. Because that's why the spotlight is on them, right? So someone says something outrageous, someone does something outrageous, and this is already ongoing, but maybe we haven't seen anything yet. Let's wait for the Leo full moon because we something shocks us from the political world and politics really. And Black Moon Lilith and Libra, diplomacy, law, international connections, one-on-one or any other type of alliances. So I think I don't need to even take this any much further because we understand Libra's role and Black Moon Lilith's role here because many things are outrageous and something will definitely provoke a reaction. Quite personally speaking, it can be the same, but at least personally, we know that this energy can very well be a surprise. A surprise moment. Okay, the square means that there's no guarantee that it's the pleasant surprise or it's gonna go the way one expects, but at least personally we can work with the energy, right? Personally, it's really in our hands how we react and what we wisdom. Jupiter just went freshly direct to wisdom is on the table, especially in the lower mind. So we haven't been under this Mars retrograde and all of the other retrogrades and the squares and all of that. I mean, the Jupiter Saturn square and the Pluto in Aquarius for not to have harvested a lot of wisdom from it, from all the pain and the troubles that these energies got us into. Okay, now I'm being a bit childish here because it's not the sky that gets us in trouble, but our decisions, of course. But you know what I mean. It got us in trouble, so we had to harvest a lot of wisdom from the troubles. We bring that to the table now, and we're all good. We're absolutely okay. However, the shock and surprise factor is still there. So I would recommend that if you're planning a romantic surprise or something that needs a lot of peace and calm or things to go very, very planned, this 12th of February might not be the best possible period and moment for this because chances are it's not going to go how we expect and it's not going to be under our control. However, this is actually quite good for the type of energy where, well, let's just try and see how it goes. It's really good for I have nothing to lose. It's really good for, well, the risk is so minimal, I'm gonna try it. It's good for anything like this. But for planned, it's not very much good. And with Mercury squaring Uranus and Mercury opposing the moon, chances are, and this especially personally, a job interview, a conversation with husband, wife, children even. If you sit down to the table thinking that you kind of know how the other person feels and will react and will this, no. Surprise, surprise, nuh-uh. So this is the type of energy where better be very direct, but very diplomatic, because you don't know how the boss, the potential interviewer, husband, wife, child, friend, whoever is feeling. Surprise, so be cautious, right? What does that mean? Well, you will have to see in your personal situation what extra caution, wisdom, diligence means. But I must repeat, no wisdom will compensate for Uranus. Surprise, surprise. So, hazard, throwing the dices. And because this is Taurus and the T square, so the sun moon, point to Uranus, it's also financial energy. So some whatever else happens, it's also financial values, financial politics. And this is already happening with the United States doing this taxes, those taxes, all that chaos and diplomatic, I don't even know, maelstrom or how to call it, earthquake. Speaking about earthquakes, yes. Yes, absolutely. It's the season for it with Uranus and Jupiter. Why does Jupiter matter? Well, Jupiter in Gemini guarantees that it's hitting the news and it's big. Or we're talking, or it's making people move, run for it. Gemini, motion, locomotion, running for it. Yes, so we cannot exclude this part of the energy either. Now, let's add a new player into this mix because Ceres is also conjunct the sun. Ceres is between Mercury and the sun. Let me just mark her. Ceres is somewhere here between sun and Mercury. So Ceres opposing the moon. Ceres is, of course, Demetra. Grain, food, nurture. Demetra was which provided the fertility to the agricultural part of nature in that sense. So applying her symbolism in putting it to Aquarius, well, the internet, Aquarius, or whatever the news is, as you know, hitting the news, electricity fee. So this can be a big power outage, internet outage, a big shocking internet crime, hacking, something that we've never seen before on a large scale. Why? Because Ceres, it's the food. And the internet is food for very many industries. Food that as in blood that flows in our veins. The internet is the blood that, for example, kind of in this day and age, feeds airports. And I can give so very many examples of total internet dependent industries, even like supermarkets. If the online bank collapse is disrupted, I don't know if in 2025 they have all the backup they need to go a longer period without internet or banking system being functional for technical reasons, of course. So we'll see. We shall see. But Ceres is also politics, right? Sorry, Aquarius politics. Things of laws or political decisions about food. Technology and food, Uranus. because Uranus squares Ceres too. And Uranus is the disher out of Aquarius. So, and Saturn, both Uranus and Saturn. But Saturn is in the ethereal realm of Pisces, so it will act with water and what, right? Uranus is in Earth, so Uranus can act. But what I want to say is issues around technology plus food. Is it moral? Is it acceptable? Remember Black Moon Lilith. Is it okay? Is it not okay? Does it, Saturn in Pisces, does it go against religion or not? Food, something around. And in our personal lives, this can be a really present, a type of food you always kind of avoid it. You try it after 20 years for the first time, love at first taste, or anything similar. But actually, be careful with food. The South Node is in Virgo, opposing Neptune. Virgo Pisces axis is elimination. Virgo is the digestive tract. So Virgo rules microorganisms, like the gut biome. But when that goes bad, Neptune, it drowns, something's there. It doesn't like a substance, for example, a pill, a medicine, a painkiller. This is going to be a runny business. And I know this is a bit ridiculous, but for some people, yeah, but that's how the full moon is gonna play. I don't mean to laugh, but that's how the full moon surprise is gonna play out. But maybe we can't hold in things in our body, liquids, Piscean energy, North Node and Pisces, Neptune, the water, or South Node, the what we need to eliminate. So be careful because this energy has just a second, let me get the word I'm looking for. Like gut infection or stomach flu bug or those type of very not nice things uh written all over on it. So if you know you're sensitive, be careful. Though if you know you're sensitive to spicy and hot, be careful. If you know your intolerances, be careful. Allergies, be careful. Be careful with food around this 12th of February, please. Then let's move on to something positive, more positive, let's say. Well, this moon, illuminated by the Aquarius Sun and Mercury and Ceres, trines Aries. Aries being at 24 degrees of Aries, somewhere around here. So Aries makes this energy, especially, let's start at personal. If you're the spontaneous fan, or whatever it is that you want to do, you're planning, and you're okay with spontaneous, this Aries can pay off 10 trillion times better than expected. Just don't mind the bumpy ride or whatever it involves, because Aries comes with chaos. However, the trine with Aries is also a good sign in the sense that even if you're not fan of chaos and you are exactly someone who needs things to go as planned, even if it doesn't go as planned, chances are there is still something good there. So don't worry too much. Bad will turn into good because that's Aries' speciality. Disaster, fiasco, stuff like that turns into the best thing ever at the end of the day. So when you're in the deep, keep this in mind that Aries still is working on turning the situation around. And Aries is where something happens to you, and this is even if you're an oracle, even if you're a prophet, you didn't ever see that coming. So let's hope it's a really pleasant surprise. On the other hand, well, this makes extra sure that this energy is rebellious, that whatever people feel is going to be very clearly expressed and will have an effect. If not protests, and whenever Aries is activated, people take to the streets and they demand their rights. Then there, if we necessarily want, there is a grand fire trine where the moon is one component. The other element you think is in Sagittarius, and of course you're absolutely right, because we have at, I do believe, 24 or 25 degrees of Sagittarius, trans-Neptunian planetoid Huya. Now, Huya is a rain deity, a rain god. It has a rather cruel side to it because it is usually associated with when the well is dry, extra dry, and there is a big thirst problem or drought problem. But it's a trine, so finally the rain is here, the water is here. So I like to interpret Huya symbolism in a positive way, that the drought is over, or that it's not a Fata Morgana, it's the real oasis now, or that, well, in an Aries, right? We can't ignore Aries' rebellious nature. If water doesn't come to us, we'll go to water, whatever in however way this means. So this says powerful resilience energy. This energy says that sovereignty is not going anywhere. Sovereignty is here to stay. Now let's move a bit further. Now I'm gonna have a bit of a problem pronouncing this. So at 25 degrees of Leo, so very tightly conjunct the moon, there is a trans-Neptunian object named, so give me a second here, Praamzius. Praamzyus. Retrograde. Now, he is the Lithuanian god of time, so this makes his symbolism extraordinarily simple because it is similar to that of Saturn, Kronos, etc. A Saturnian deity. The time is here, or time is up. Add Aries into, so trine Aries. So this, again, trying to pronounce this, Praamzius, trine Aries, well, that means time is up. That, or we don't care about your timing, we care about our timing. And we cannot ignore Mercury, Sun in Aquarius, which is about the collective, so power of the people. There is going to be big revolt somewhere. That is for certain. And again, time deity, god of time. Leo in the heart decides. Moon, emotion, strong emotion. Mundane astrology, the feeling of the people. Something happens in the heart. Time is up in that sense, in the heart. In the heart space, time is up. Mercury opposing this, the mind will understand that I can't say no to my heart anymore. Whatever this means. Now, let's complicate this a little bit more. There is yet another energy that is in Taurus, so the T square, it's near Uranus, 25 degrees of Taurus, it's Alicanto. Now, Alicanto is a mythological bird from Chile. Well, I'm trying to find a comparison, but I think it's so unique that I can't even compare it to anything with any mythology. A mythical, magical, surreal, majestic, ultra beautiful bird in the deserts that wings are brighter than the sun and stuff like that. This to me says the surprise factor. It has wings. Something travels very, very quickly. And when last time Alicanto was big time in an aspect, and I'm so sorry, I cannot remember the exact specifics, but I remember that I personally associated with the helicopter crash of the Iranian president. So, if you guys know when that happened, what happened then in your personal lives, because that energy might come back. Again, something with aviation, something is very quick, or something is obscured and crashes. Oh, and of course, when Elecanto was in, I think, conjunct Uranus to the degree, news started coming out of the discussions with making the UFO documents in the United States, the Pentagon public, and all that stuff. And then there is also an air trine besides Black Moon Lilith, because there is a Uranian, so means a fictional object there called Zeus, so Jupiterian type of energy, trining the sun. It's conjunct Black Moon Lilith. So, why is this important? Rebellious energy. The rebellion is favored. And let me just look at something really quickly here. So yes, Black Moon Lilith, as you can see on the screen, is conjunct Zeus. And yep, I wanted to see where White Moon Selena is. She is in the sign of Cancer. So yeah, she's all good. But anyway, why is this so very important? It's important because it expands. It's expansive. It is where righteousness. Zeus was the god who had to put things right when anything else failed. He had to make compromises, diplomatic calls. He had to fix the unfixable. He had to make some very, 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 very hard calls in almost the integrity of mythology. Let me give you just some very basic examples. When certain oracles and prophets got into very big trouble and the fates or Apollo or someone else really hated their guts, well, ultimately it was Zeus who hid them, saved them. When someone got into trouble with his wife, it was Zeus who, well, ultimately either hid, saved, or punished mercilessly the perpetrator. Ultimately, Zeus had to put Helios's son to its place when he stole the sun chariot. He was one of the top peacekeepers, so to speak, even though many of his decisions were question then, right? What does this matter? Well, Libra. Libra is exactly that. Libra incorporates maximally this energy. And because Black Moon Lilith is there, well, this is when things are not so pretty, well, they are not so pretty. We can't sugarcoat reality. We can't sugarcoat justice. We can't sugarcoat. So this is a serious tone from an esoteric perspective there. It adds a great seriosity, so to speak. Now moving on to a slightly different territory. The sun is conjunct two fixed stars, and one of them is very, very relevant. So one of the fixed star is Sador. Now this is quite a fortunate star because it is of wealth, great wealth, gathered wealth, savings, so to speak, but on a large scale. And this fixed star has many things to do with water, swimming, so the seas, again the water element, and aviation. Again, wings, aviation, the sky, planes, something in the sky. And the sun with Mercury, illumination, news about this. This hits the news. Then the other fixed star is Deneb al-Gedi, however that is pronounced. Now, besides its many symbolisms, according to Ptolemy, when it has anything to do with the sun or moon, and right now it has big time because it's conjunct the sun and opposes the moon, it's loss of position, whatever that means. So news hits about the loss of position. Loss of position in war, tactically, diplomacy. Someone steps down, someone is cast away, cast out. What happens? Because this fixed star says big. When Ptolemy, as in Ptolemy, according to him, that's what I wanted to say. When the sun or the moon has direct contact here, the ancients observed that surely loss of position plays out one way or another. Besides many other symbols that I don't, or should I mention? Just a second, let me read a bit upon this, because maybe it is relevant. So it is a wise leader finding the joy inherent in sorrow, and vice versa. How relevant in this day and age. Again, I must repeat that. Finding the joy inherent in sorrow, and vice versa. Glory and fame if death is avoided. So this many times means when you successfully save someone, the situation, or death can be symbolic. A building is collapsing. The mayor has only so much time to fix it, to avoid the collapse. Understand the symbolism. So, yeah. Betrayal, loss of position if associated with sun or moon. So, yeah. Something is gonna be out there, that's for sure. And again, I have the tendency to believe that this is a leader or a very relevant figure. Well, Leo is stars, royalty, VIPs, nobility, the people who usually are in the spotlight. So the big, the powerful, absolutely. And speaking about Leo and the moon, they are also conjunct the moon is also conjunct a fixed star, a not so very nice one, which is the star of plundering, pillaging, strength, used to achieve any purpose. I don't need to detail that too much, because absolutely. But full moon reveals that. Mercury investigations about that. A shocking discovery about that. So this is gonna be a very, very interesting full moon. It's definitely gonna come with a shock or surprise. It will really trigger us emotionally. I really hope that for most people this can be a good surprise. Because Leo is also romance, sensuality, children. Children play a prank on their parents. Well, the prank can do a lot of damage, but no hard feelings. Let's laugh it off, right? And start redecorating. Mars retrograde in Cancer helps you anyway with that. Or let's say that you're like a family mom and you ask the universe for a sign. Should we redecorate this month or rather wait for? And your kids play a practical joke with some flower or really messy stuff, and you got the sign from the universe. So why not? Jupiter in Gemini, it can be a very playful energy. And again, if you can go with the unexpected, go with the flow, the go happy go lucky, or how you say that, that this energy favors, but not necessarily if things need to work out as planned or you have a tight schedule. And also this energy later a bit, but not that much later because it's a full moon. So a few days after, let's say after feelings, emotions sink in, because the moon heads into Virgo, rationale, right? And then Libra, ideal, the decision. What should I even feel about this? Then Scorpio, the primal, the toxic venom gland center. Anyway, you get my idea. So after emotions settle down, well, this will have a reaction attached to it or something, right? So this is why I would highly recommend that we don't lash out. Saturn trine Mars helps us with this, fortunately. There is a lot, but Uranus does shock us, so yeah. So thank you, everyone. And again, another thing that I want to mention. Health and safety rules and regulations. Drive safely, Gemini, Jupiter in Gemini. Anything safety is a big necessity. Jupiter conjunct North Node, don't use substances because this is going to be one of those very rare, unfortunate occasions. So extra safe when going to sports, especially in my hemisphere, skiing and stuff like that. Take extra caution. Be very, very careful. Avoid danger and listen to the gut feeling. South Node in Virgo. So thank you, everyone. Until next time. Bye for now.